I understand this morning, sir, your date has been rescheduled to June
It has
29th.
been rescheduled. It's been moved because I'm going to do some event for the Seychelles Tourism Board.
Wow.
It is interesting, some of the things I end up doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll go to Seychelles for 6 days and do like it's like a corporate event, but it's launching their tourism year.
I'm imagining a life in comedy, though, is going to throw all sorts of little quirky things at you from time to time.
It is like I was, because it's near the end of the year, I was looking at the past year, and there's been such a wide range of things, like being a mentor for young artists in India, to then being a voice in a cartoon, to regular gigs, to just, there's such a weird scatterbrained variety in what I end up doing. It's wonderful.
Tell me about the voice of the cartoon.
So Cartoon Network. Now, I don't think the UK gets Cartoon Network, right? Here at CBBC.
We have had some stuff from the Cartoon Network, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Cartoon Network, which is all over Africa, and I think you can get it here on some satellite channel.
Yeah.
So I'm in a cartoon called Garbage Boy and Trash Can. And
wonderful.
Yes, but I'm the villain, Dr. Sore Eyes. And the most fun you can ever have is being a villain in a cartoon. Because if you're in a play or in a movie or anything, you're meant to act and not overact. Cartoons are the opposite. They're like, go all the way. We want cackling and yelling and gyrate. Oh, it was so, it's like therapeutic. If you have any problems, just be a cartoon villain.
Do you have a catchphrase in that then, Daliso, or anything? Is there anything
in that? No, but my evil plan was to make chickens, giant chickens and giant eggs fight each other to find out who came first. It's totally insane.
So we've got to look out for that. We've got to look out for that if it appears in the UK. That sounds brilliant.
Yes, very much. Oh, it was so much fun. So much fun.
Can I ask you a little bit about your new show? Well, I understand it's a bit of a revival of a show you did 20 years ago, yeah?
So it's not got a single old joke in it, but it's the old concept. When I was young, so 20 years ago, this was something I wanted to mark, that I've been doing comedy for 20 years. 20 years ago, I put on a show in Canada called Feed This Black Man. Yeah. And the idea was, I was kind of look at how Africans in media are always starving. It was stereotypes. It wasn't really real. But at the same time, I wasn't a good comedian. Well, I was okay, but I couldn't do what I can do now with the concept. So that's what the show started out as, but it actually became something much bigger, which is about looking at what you thought the world was 20 years ago and what you think it's now as you age. So,
What drew you into the world of comedy in the first place?
So I knew I wanted to be a writer, right? But I thought I was going to be writing big, fat books and be like the Jane Austen of Malawi. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've always loved just books and reading, but it's very interesting. I was always drawn to humorous books. My favorite stuff was always like Dickens and Roald Dahl, and I was Wally Schink. I was always drawn to the funny. And then it was only at university where I had written a funny poem for an open mic, and someone was like, you're really funny, you should try a comedy night. And I went in never having watched stand-up. Well, I'd seen Eddie Murphy Raw, but I thought that was just the movie star doing a one-man show. I didn't know it was an actual thing. Right. And when I saw the world of comedy, it blew my mind. I was like, wait, this is allowed? You can go on stage and insult the government and talk about sex, and this is okay? It blew my mind, because I grew up in many countries, but most of them were pretty conservative. Right? So a Canadian comedy club, if you're like a person who's been a teenager in Kenya and Malawi and Somalia, you can't even imagine this sort of thing is, one, I laughed my head off. Two, I thought it was cool, and I just wanted to be one of those guys. It wasn't even like a career thing at that time. It became like doing karaoke. I just wanted to be on stage whenever. I'd write little ideas and go. And it's funny, I should have realized that it became my job because it was what I looked forward to most in the week. So I'd go to class, I'd do all that, but I was really living for that Tuesday open mic when I could do comedy.